Jai Guruji. So the young devoted hearts, chapter 43. In youth we learn, and in age we understand. But with Guruji's grace, boundaries melt. I sat contentedly under the full moon in the open, beside Shiva's statue, adjacent to Guruji's Mahasamadhi room. Sumi, my friend, and I sat in utter silence as we fully rejoiced in the moonlit night and the divine music that filled our souls. The night was magical at Guruji's temple, and Sumi had made me promise that we would go for the last round of langar as we needed to assimilate as much of the divine energy as we possibly could on this serenely blissful night. I remember that night as if it was yesterday. I also made a loose promise to her to get the health check done in the coming week, as she was so persistent. It was almost 11 p.m., and we both sat in utter silence as we were completely consumed by the celestial energies. Nakul Kalia and Siddharth Taneja then came and sat next to us, and to share their most enthralling satsangs. I always find it pleasurable interacting with the youth as their faith is pure and pristine, with absolutely no pretenses. So here we go, satsang by Nakul Kalia. Quote unquote, I am Nakul. I would like to share my experiences that I've had since coming into Guruji's all-merciful fold. For the past 4 years, I was Sai Baba's devotee. And one day I was in Sai Baba's mandir and I met a friend of mine who had been ardently following Guruji for 1 year. She spoke about Guruji and then went on to say that she had darshan of Sai Baba in the Jyot at Guruji's temple, Bade Mandir. I was overwhelmed with excitement and longed to know more. So she took me to Dugri Dham, his hometown, on 31st May. An extraordinary experience. I felt a strong fragrance of roses there, which was something very strange for me. I then did see a nom on Guruji's charan, which left me blank for a while, because I have never witnessed such a thing in my life. It was impossible for me to believe in such phenomena. It was June when my friend took me to Bade Mandir, and I went simply to get a feel of the place as I was going to any other temple, as if I was going to any other temple. On entering it, I felt the vibrations there, which was so beautiful. It was clearly heaven on earth. I entered the hall, bowed at Guruji's feet, and sat for a while. I was feeling something, but I really didn't know what it was. It was only until 6th October 2011, my friend's birthday, for which I planned to gift her a beautiful photo frame of Guruji. My mother gave me 500 rupees to repair my touchscreen phone, but instead of repairing it, I purchased a frame for Guruji for my friend. After gifting it, I went back to my mobile. The touchscreen had started working automatically, without any hassle. And on my mobile, Guruji gave his darshan by showing his lotus feet on it. This is how Guruji blesses each of his children. In 2011, there was an unexpected crisis at work. The company that my father works with had gone through a big financial loss. Hence, the salary of the staff had been delayed by 3 to 4 months. Since my father is the only breadwinner of the family, it was hard to meet the daily expenses. On January 30th, 2012, Monday, I was about to leave for Bade Mandir, which I normally do every week now. I checked my pocket money, but it wasn't enough to get me there. I asked my mother for some money, but she refused, saying that there was no need to go, as I was in any case attending satsangs every day by then. I insisted on going, and so she finally gave me 80 rupees, and I left for the Bade Mandir. On reaching there, I met an uncle who I was introduced to last year in 2011 at a satsang, and we had exchanged numbers. He came to me and said, Nakul uncle, puchte raha hu, manna mat karna. कुछ दे रहा हूं, मना मत करना. Guruji the hukam hai. He took out 3,000 from his pocket and handed it to me, saying, Ashton. I insisted that I didn't need the money and couldn't possibly take it from him. He looked at me mysteriously and went away. I really don't know what was happening. I went back home, told my mother that the uncle gave me money. My mother, with tears in her eyes, told me to call that uncle to return it to him. I called and requested him to take the money back, to which he gave a very strange response. He told me that he had not been to the Bari Mandir that day and that he had not given me any money. I was stunned and shell-shocked. Even my mother was taken aback. It was Guruji who came from nowhere and had given me that money. This is how Guruji assists his loving Sangat. He walks in when the entire world walks out. His actions are beyond our imagination, and his love for his Sangat can't be measured, but can only be felt moment to moment. Guruji is with each of his Sangat, and we must remember that and be in gratitude for that. He's there to make us feel happy, special, and above all, blessed. He's given me a deep sense of fulfillment in life and focus. Jai Guruji. So this is the youth speaking about our beloved Guruji Maharaj. Chapter 44, Guruji changes priorities. There is no obstacle too great, no challenge too difficult if we have complete faith and surrender. After the Langar Prasad, I continued to imbibe the sights and the sounds of the energized temple with Sumi. She then whispered in my ear after a prolonged silence that I really did need that routine health check. I informed her of my plans to visit the Golden Temple with my family for 2 nights. Instead, she rolled her eyes in disbelief as I turned to the young, vibrant, and faith-filled man who sat next to me, awaiting my attention to keenly share his experiences with Guruji. So Siddharth shared his satsang under the moonlight. Satsang by Siddharth. I am Siddharth Taneja, quote unquote. The happiest day of my life was when I met Guruji in February 2007. My life was fraught with problems. I had an inflated ego, a negative attitude, anger, stubbornness, and impatience. I was spoiled beyond repair. After coming to Guruji, the tide had turned and he changed me. I had big dreams and high hopes, which were absolutely impossible to achieve. But Guruji blessed me and gave me almost everything I ever wanted. Before coming to Guruji, I was depressed because things were not working out in my life and my US visa had been rejected. All I ever wanted was to settle there. I prayed to God that if he really existed, then he would show me his presence. I didn't believe in him anymore. I was going to dispose the statue of Sri Ram and Hanumanji in the trash bin when my mother stopped me and forcefully took them away from me. Next day, my aunt called me and spoke about Guruji on the phone. I agreed to take his darshan and everything started changing. Thereafter, I found all my prayers answered. My first desire was to have 10,000 rupees to party in Ashoka Hotel's Capital nightclub on my 19th birthday with 2 of my closest friends. I asked my parents and they refused. I then went to Guruji and he started staring at me with his meher nazar, like he knew what was on my mind. The next day, my cousin called from the US. After approximately 7 years, he instructed me to go to the Western Union as there was a gift waiting for me, which was exactly 10,000 rupees. I was shocked. On 22nd May 2007, I had a flight to Bombay at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. And since I reached the airport at 9 a.m., my dad started scolding me. I prayed to Guruji and told him that if I sit on the flight, I would believe that he is God. I went to check in. Initially, of course, they refused me to let me board the plane, but then a lady suddenly appeared and escorted me like a VIP to the aircraft. My dad and I were utterly surprised. One day I had to be at the gym but I had a flat tire. I had heard a satsang how someone had driven a flat-tired car with Guruji's grace. I was like a mischievous child who wanted to test Guruji and see if it was possible to still drive the car. So I drove 3 kilometers to the gas station and got my tire checked. The attendant told me nothing was wrong with the tire. I reached the gym. While working out, I was thinking that Guruji could not have done this. Just then, I unexpectedly met someone from the Sangat, which was a clear sign indeed that it was all Guruji's doing. Another day, sitting with my mother in the balcony, I noticed a little burn scar on my foot. I asked her how it had happened. She told me that when I was 3 years old, my cousin had dropped hot tea on my foot while playing. I was a little angry at my cousin and thinking about how careless he had been. Guruji appeared in my dream that night and said, "It was me who saved you that day, as both your arms would have got burned. Don't worry, in your next life, you will be indeed very handsome." Good Lord, how Guruji responds. This is giving me goosebumps. So there's a reason for everything. It's like my eczema has always bothered me, especially because it comes on my face. And it's almost like, he's telling me that calmly go through your karmas this lifetime. This next lifetime, you will have no eczema. It could have been worse. I did have skin cancer also. In my dream, I was sitting with Guruji near his feet and pleading him not to leave me alone in this world. And Guruji started smiling and said, "Acha pehle odde varga banke da dikha." First become like him. I thought this might be a dream. After a few days, somebody said how he used to invite Guruji to his home. And Guruji always responded, "Avange." Almost a year passed and Guruji didn't come. He asked again and Guruji responded, "Aaj avange." I will come today. That night in his dream, he saw Guruji had come to his place and made halwa prasad for him that he ate while talking to Guruji. In his dream, he hugged Guruji tight and cried. In the morning, he got up and thought that it was a dream and Guruji hadn't really come. In the evening, when he went to Empire State, Guruji smiled and said, "Yaar, tu mainu chhadda hi nahi. See, mera saans kuch gaya tu any zor na mainu jappi pai. My friend, you hugged me so tight that you almost suffocated me." After that, he fell at Guruji's feet. This is how Guruji answers our prayers, and Guruji came in my dream and said, "Ki tu mainu roz roz darshan vaste ardas karda rehda hai. Karda rehda hai. Tenu pata hai kinni shakti lagdi hai. Tu kinna rab nu yaad kitta. हो कड़ी आया तेरे कदी आया मैं तेरे सपने नू कड़ी सुन." Oh God, I don't even know what I've written. तू कि तू मैनू रोज रोज दर्शन वास्ते अरदास करदा रहंदा है. तैनू पता ही नहीं किन्नी शक्ति लगदी है. तू किन्ना रब नू याद किता. कड़ी आए तेरे सपने तू कदी सुनिया है. तेरे किसी दोस्त या रिलेटिव के सपने में भगवान आके गले गल्ला कर देने. रब भी अपनी शक्ति वेस्ट करदा नहीं. Never think this is a dream, because when you remember me and ask me to come and see you, it requires a lot of strength to come and speak with you. It requires a lot of energy. After Guruji's Maha Samadhi, I was really saddened, and as I believed that he was no longer with us now, I went home and cried. And then Guruji again appeared in my dream. I stood alone, lost in the mountains, and Guruji came with his Sangat. I fell at his lotus feet, and the Seva Sangat tried to move me away. But Guruji told me to let me rest my head on his shoulders. We walked together, and I cried, asking, "Aap kidhar chale gaye ho? Where have you gone?" Guruji replies, "Main kithe bhi nahi gaya. Tu kar ja. I haven't gone anywhere. Now you go home." I woke up after the dream at 4 a.m. and felt so much at peace after getting my answer. Next, I was traveling to Singapore and Thailand in June of 2007. On the day of arriving in Bangkok, I lost my passport at the airport. I asked the officers and the people around for my passport, but nobody spoke English. I was worried and started reciting Ram Ram and the Hanuman Chalisa, but nothing was working. So I decided to tell the immigration officers about it and subsequently take a flight back to India. I was just about to call my parents when suddenly Guruji's photograph came to my mind, and I prayed to him. After a few minutes, a person came and returned my passport. I was shocked. I went out to say thanks to the guy, but again, he was not there. Who could do this besides Guruji? Guruji Maharaj can give us anything, anytime, but we really don't know if it's beneficial for us in the long run. I went to Guruji's temple for 40 days and prayed to him that I want to earn plenty of money. I started investing Dad's money in stocks. The investments grew 4 times. After that, I went crazy and started planning trips to New York and Vegas. I was also planning to buy a car for myself. And all this while, I became defiant and began to disrespect my parents. For 2 months, I didn't visit Guruji's temple either, as I was enjoying life now to the fullest. Guruji then came in my dreams and said, "Main tere naal naraz haan. I am upset with you." I saw him sitting in the car with me and not talking to me. He was chatting with my parents in the dream and ignoring me. Money was the only thing on my mind and nothing else. Guruji then taught me a lesson, as all my money went within a week in stocks. I am glad that he gave me a wake-up call and taught me to value the things that matter the most. I now live my life with good morals and values with a deep connection with Guruji. And now do ardas to Guruji, mere ko apne se dur kabhi nahi hone dena Guruji. Please never let me go away from you. He listens and I always feel close to him. And he has changed me as a person, humbled me. My parents are delighted at the change. Guruji used to say that he can give anybody anything, but you don't know if it's right for you. Therefore, manno mango ne. Just surrender to him and he will give you the right blessings for a happy and fulfilled life. Have faith, and there will always be enough for everything you need. So live life king size, and I certainly do, with Guruji's heart beating amidst my everyday life. Jai Guruji. I'm loving reading the young Sangat's satsangs. I'm sorry, but actually I can only read 2 chapters today. There's a wedding satsang going on in the physical, so I'll have to get ready for that. But we are still on time. We just have 5 chapters to go, which means we will probably cover them tomorrow and Sunday. So
Okay,
Jai
Auntie.
Guruji.
Jai Guruji, Auntie. Thank you so much.
Thank you
See
so
you all
much.
tomorrow.
See you tomorrow then. Bye, Jai Guruji.